Hi, I'm Dorian from Dorian and Think to Success. In this video we are going to cover documents. I'm going to do 20 questions and give you some in-depth information as I go through it. So I'm going to jump onto my desktop. Okay, so we're on my computer now, so we're going to do a 20 question mock test. I'm going to give you in-depth answers to the answer, adding meat on the bones. So rather than just answering the question, move on, just trying to fill any gaps that you may have in your knowledge about documents. So the first question says, when could the cost of your insurance be reduced? Now, your insurance can be reduced if you do a Pass Plus scheme. And what Pass Plus is, when you pass your driving test, it's 6 hours more training. Your instructor has to be Pass Plus registered to do this. It incorporates motorway driving, through country lanes, adverse weather driving, and nighttime driving. Obviously, we can't make it rain on your lessons if you did this, but if it doesn't rain, then your instructor will talk about which lights to use, the wind wipers, how much longer it takes to stop. Because the Pass Plus makes you a better driver, it reduces the risk you have of having an accident within the first 2 years of passing your driving test. So that's what we're looking for in terms of answer, is a Pass Plus. So when you complete the Pass Plus scheme, is the first one out. Always check your answers though. Don't just click on the first one and then move on. Always check all four, because sometimes they give you another answer similar but with more information, and that's the one you obviously want to go for. So when you pass the driving test first time, you're not going to get reduced insurance whether you pass first time or 10th time. It makes no difference. When you don't wear your glasses, well, if you're supposed to wear glasses, you're definitely not going to get reduced insurance with that. And when you're under 25, whether you're under 25 or over 25, you're not going to get reduced insurance the first time out of passing your driving test. So it is when you complete the Pass Plus scheme. I'm going to leave the answer on screen for a little bit longer, so you can pause the video if you want and read through it in more detail. What's covered by third-party insurance? By law, the minimum requirement for insurance is third-party insurance. There's 3 types. Third-party insurance, which covers the damage you cause to other people's property or vehicle. It would not pay for your car. The next one up is third-party fire and theft. Same thing as third-party insurance, except it's got fire and theft attached. So, for example, someone set fire to your car, as long as it's not arson, they will pay out for it. If someone steals your car, you don't get it back, they will pay out for that. And the best insurance to have is what we call fully or comprehensive. It means it covers you for everything. You have an accident, it'll pay for the damage you cause, and it will pay for the damage to your car. In this case, third party covers damage to other vehicles, but it will not pay for your car. So fire damage to your vehicle, no. Damage to your vehicle, no. And flood damage to your vehicle, no. When should you update your vehicle registration certificate? Your vehicle registration certificate is known as the V5 document. Another question that comes up quite a lot when we run our courses is, which document should you not leave in your car? And it's your vehicle registration document, i.e. the V5 document, because it has the registered keeper's details on there. In this case, the question is asking, when should you update the vehicle registration certificate? Normally you can update it when you sell your vehicle, scrap your vehicle, or move house. So we're looking for something along those lines at your answers. So in this case, you got when you move house is a likely answer. When you have a collision, no. When you check your vehicle, when your vehicle needs an MOT, no. When you pass your driving test, no. So in this case is when you move house is when you need to update your vehicle registration document or certificate. Your car requires an MOT certificate. When is it legal to drive it without an MOT certificate? Now, the only time you can drive your car without an MOT is when you're going direct to an appointment that's already been booked. So, for example, you had your car off the road with what we call a statutory off-road notification, known as SORN. So it's been parked up in your driveway, in your garage, not taxed. You now need the MOT before your car gets taxed. Book an appointment first and then drive direct to the appointment. Don't drive around looking for one. Drive to the appointment direct, and that's the only time you can legally drive without an MOT. So we're looking for something along those lines. When driving to an MOT centre to arrange an appointment, so you're driving to the MOT to arrange it, no, it has to be booked before you go. When driving a car with the owner's permission, that's not legal. Up to 7 days after the old certificate has run out, no, because as soon as it runs out, your car is no longer roadworthy. When driving to an appointment at an MOT centre, so you drive into the appointment which has already been booked, and that's the answer that we're looking for. What's a cover note? Cover note is temporary insurance. So example, you are going to a car showroom to buy your car, you pass your driving test, you want to go to a car showroom to pass your driving test. You picked up the car, you paid for it, finance, cash, whatever you decide to go. They won't give you the keys for the car because the car's not insured. You now have to go and source your insurance. Once you source your insurance, they will get over to you, whether it's by email or post, a cover note. A cover note is temporary insurance, which you now take back to the car showroom and show them the car has been insured. So as soon as you drive that forecourt, if something happened to that car, they know the car is now covered. And normally within 10 working days or so, the insurance company will get the full documentation over to you. That's when I suggest that you do read a small print note. But a cover note is temporary insurance. So a document issued before you receive an MOT certificate, no. A document issued before you receive your insurance certificate, that's a possible answer. So we tick that one. But we still read all four. Remember, they can give you the same information plus more. A document issued before you receive your registration document, no. A document issued before you receive your driving license, no. So that's the one we're looking for. For how long is a statutory off-road notification valid, known as SORN for short? Statutory off-road notification, I mentioned a little bit earlier in one of the questions, is when you are not going to tax your car. Not when you're not going to use your car, when you're not going to tax it. The tax has run out, you decided that you're not going to tax it at this point in time. You fill in a statutory off-road notification and then you take your car off the road. It has to be in a driveway, private land, or someone's lockup or garage. So how long does it last for? It lasts until you scrap your vehicle, or until you sell your vehicle, or until you tax your vehicle. So any of those three options is what we're looking for on this. So until the vehicle is repaired or modified, no. Until the vehicle is used on the road. Until the vehicle is used on the road, no, because it just says you're using it. It doesn't say you're taxing it or selling it or scrapping it. It just says used. So that's no. Use until the vehicle is insured and MOT'd. No. Until the vehicle is taxed, sold or scrapped. And there you go. It's got all three options in that one. So it's got taxed, sold or scrapped. And that's the answer that we're looking for. What circumstances require you to notify the driver and vehicle licensing agency, otherwise known as DVLA? Circumstances is health changing or change of address are the two common ones that you need to update them. So let's look for something along those lines. When you have to work abroad, when you're working abroad, you don't need to notify them. When your health affects your driving. If your health changes, you do need to notify the DVLA because they may revoke your license depending on your health condition. So let's tick that one for now, but let's still check the other two. When your vehicle needs an MOT, you don't need to notify them when you get an MOT, and when you lend your vehicle to someone, you don't need to notify them for that. So it is about your health on that. But remember also, when you move home, obviously update your address with the DVLA. Your insurer will issue you with an insurance certificate. When must you produce this document for inspection? So your insurance will give you the full documentation. Remember, you get a cover note first, which is temporary insurance, and then you will get your full certificate of insurance. The only time you need to produce is if the police ask for it, legal requirement. So if a police officer asks for it, that's what you're looking for. If you had an accident and the driver of that vehicle asks for it, you're not obliged to give it to them. Only police, because they're law enforcement. So that's what we're looking for. When buying or selling a vehicle, no. When making a sworn statutory off-road notification, no. When a police officer asks you for it, yes. And then again, still check the other answer. When your vehicle is having MOT, no. What's the maximum fine for driving or riding without insurance? Now, you have to be very careful with this, depending on how you're studying. If you're using apps, you're going to be fine, because the answer is unlimited and apps have been updated. If you're using books and DVDs, make sure it's up to date. I would say, but if it's more than 18 months, 2 years old, you're probably going to have the answer in the books or DVDs as 5,000. It used to be 5,000. It's now unlimited. So in the apps, it has been updated. In the books, obviously, they can't be updated unless you buy the new edition. So we're now looking for unlimited, which is there. We don't need to check all the others because I know that's the answer. When must you contact the driving and vehicle licensing agency, DVLA? Similar question, and that's what happens in the theory test. Sometimes you get a similar question. Word is slightly different. Sometimes they give you different answers to choose from as well. So don't just dive in because you had a question before. Read the answers carefully because it could be something different. So when you use your vehicle for work, we don't need to notify them. When you change your vehicle, that's a possible answer. Because you're changing the vehicle, you need to change the V5 document. When you get a parking ticket, no. When your vehicle insurance is due. So yeah, when you change your vehicle, you have a V5, what we call a V5 document. You need to put the new person's details on there and then send it off to the DVLA to get your name taken off, because the V5 document holds the registered keeper's details. And if you're changing your vehicle, then you're no longer the keeper of the vehicle that you are getting rid of. Your car needs to pass an MOT test. What may be invalidated if you drive a car without a current MOT certificate? Your MOT is to say your car is roadworthy at the time of being checked. So if your car is not roadworthy, what's not going to be valid is your insurance. Simple as that, because the insurance company is not going to insure you if the car is not roadworthy. So we're just looking for something along the lines of your insurance. The vehicle insurance, straight away. But still read the others, because remember, they can give you the same answer plus more information, which may be a better answer. The vehicle registration document, otherwise known as the V5, no. The vehicle tax, no. And the vehicle service record, no. So it's the insurance. What's a statutory off-road notification? So off-road statutory off notification, which I mentioned on the previous questions, is when you're not going to tax your vehicle. So you've decided your tax has run out, and let's just say you're going away for a couple of months. You don't need to use the car at that point. It's no point taxing it for 2 months and it's not being used. Fill in a statutory off-road notification and then take your car off the public highway. So make sure it comes off the public highway. It has to be driveway, private land, lock up or garage. Simple as that. So statutory off-road notification is when you fill that in when you're not going to tax your vehicle. So that's what we're looking for. A notification to tell the DVSA that the vehicle doesn't have a current MOT, no. Information kept by the police about the owner of the vehicle, no. A notification to tell the DVLA that the vehicle isn't being used on the road, that's a possible answer. Information held by the insurance companies, and that's no, because they don't hold the information like that. So we know it's that one. You've just passed your first practical driving test. What will you have to do if you get 6 penalty points on your license in the next 2 years. You may or may not know, once you pass your driving test, you're on 2 years probation. The stat says you are likely to have an accident within the first 2 years of passing the driving test. So you're on 2 years probation. Now, if you get 6 points or more on your license in the first 2 years, you lose it and you're back to square one. You've got to do another theory test and you've got to do another driving test. So the answer we're looking for is take the theory test and driving test. So reapply for a full license immediately. No. Retake your theory and practical tests. As I said, you take theory and practical, that's an answer, but still check by all 4 answers. See here, you got retake only your practical test. Now, when we do the courses, pupils just dive straight in, either tick that one or the one underneath, which is retake only your theory test. It's take both. So the one we've already ticked is the one we're looking for. What legal requirement must be met by a newly qualified driver? So what legal requirement? Remember, it's legal. So let's go through the options. They must display green L plates. And it's L plates as well, green. And you know L plates are red. You pass your driving test, so you don't need L plates, especially green ones anyway. They must be accompanied on their first motorway journey. No, as soon as you pass your driving test, you can go straight onto the motorway. They must have a new photograph taken for their full license. You don't need a new photograph. Your provisional is automatically updated to your full license. So it's the same details. And they must have a valid motor insurance. So that's the legal requirement. So once you pass your test, you're going to drive a car. You need to make sure you've got valid insurance for that vehicle that you're driving. It would help if I actually clicked on it. Who's legally responsible for ensuring that a vehicle registration certificate known as the V5 is updated? Who's legally responsible? Now, the legal person is the registered keeper, not necessarily the owner of the vehicle. The owner could be the finance company. It's the registered keeper of the vehicle. So when you buy a vehicle on the V5, it says who is the keeper of the vehicle. If your name's on there, you are legally responsible. So it's not the finance company, it's the registered keeper's vehicle. That's what the V5 is. But let's read the other answers. The vehicle manufacturer, the licensing authority, your insurance company, the registered vehicle keeper. What does third-party insurance cover? Third party, you've got 3 types of insurance, which is the minimum requirement by law is third party insurance. Then you've got third party fire and theft. And then you've got the top one, which is fully comprehensive. Now, third party covers damage that you cause to other people's vehicles or property. So the insurance company will pay for the damage you cause, but it will not pay for the damage to your car. Third party fire and theft is the same thing, except it's got fire and theft attached. So if someone sets fire to your car, as long as it's not arson, insurance company will pay out for it. If someone steals your car and you don't get it back, they will pay out for it on that circumstances. And fully just covers you for everything. So with this question, what does third party insurance covers? It just covers damage to vehicle, other people's vehicles, or property that you caused. So injury to yourself, all damage and injury, no. Damage to your vehicle, no. Damage to other vehicles is what we're looking for. What does it mean if your insurance policy has an excess of 500? Now, some insurance policies come with excess. Excess just means the amount that you have to pay out first. So, for example, in this case, it's £500 they're talking about. You had an accident which you was responsible for, so you caused it, and the damage, let's just say the total was £1,500. You're paying the first 500, and then the insurance company will pay the rest. So you pay the first amount, In this case, it's 500, and the insurance company will pay anything above that. So we're now looking for what you're paying out in terms of the answer. The insurance company will pay the first 500. They're not going to pay the first 500. You do. You'll be paid 500. You're not being paid. You're paying out. Your vehicle is insured for a value of 500. If it's stolen, no. And you'll have to pay. So you'll have to pay the first 500 of cost of any claim. And that's the answer we're looking for. What must you check before you drive someone else's vehicle? Now, if you jump into someone else's vehicle, what you need to check is to make sure you are insured for you to drive. Not check to see if they have insurance, because they should have insurance, but it's for them. You need to check to make sure you are insured to drive the vehicle you're jumping into. So we're looking for something along those lines. That your own vehicle has insurance cover. If you're driving someone else's vehicle, then your insurance doesn't come into play. That the vehicle is insured for you to use. That the vehicle is insured for you to use. That's what we're looking for. But again, check all the answers just in case it's a bit more information. That the vehicle owner has third-party insurance cover. It doesn't matter what they have. It's not necessarily going to be for you. That the insurance documents are in the vehicle. You should never leave your insurance documents in the vehicle anyway, so we can't tick that one. So the one we ticked is the correct one. When will a new car need its first MOT test? Right. When they say a new car, they're talking about not new to you. They're talking about new as in registered. So if you buy a car, you passed your test, you bought a car this year, registered 2021, it will not need an MOT for the first 3 years of its life. So you won't need an MOT until 2024. So a new car doesn't need an MOT within the first 3 years. So that's something along those lines is what we're looking for. So when it's 3 years old, straight out of traps. But we still read all the others. When it's 5 years old, no. When it's 1 year old, no. When it's 7 years old, no. So 3 years is what we're looking for. What's the legal minimum insurance cover you must have to drive on the public roads? This is, again, a question from earlier on, just worded differently. And that's how the theory test works. They just word the question slightly different. So again, know your stuff. Rather than memorizing the answer, the question, memorize the answer. Because when it's worded differently, it throws you off. It's better to understand it inside that. And that way, no matter how it's worded, you know what the answer is. So in this case, the legal minimum insurance cover is what we spoke about earlier on, is third party only. Remember, there's 3 types: third party fire and theft, and fully com. And we're looking for minimum requirement is third party only, but check all the answers first. So comprehensive, no. Third party fire and theft, no. Third party only is what we're looking for, and personal injury doesn't cover your car. So hopefully you got some value out of that. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will do some more videos. Or better still, in the comments, let me know what videos you want. Someone asked me about documents, and that's why I've done this video. So put it in the comments. If you've got any questions, any concerns, especially if you've got your theory test coming up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, put it in the comments, and I will do my very best to answer them. See you in the next video.